Well, this is a brand new spot, never been here before. I just came up on looks like a fresh one. I'm in some hill country area today. You can see this bluff kind of drops down. And I was actually right about here, kind of just walking along the side of the bluff here. And I was gonna head up further. I probably will in a little bit here. And I literally seen it as I was standing here for about 5 seconds. So it's just super easy to miss these sheds and hardwoods like this. I just glanced over and I seen it, something that looked like tines right there. And sure enough, yeah, it looks fresh. There's actually quite a few leaves over it already. Just rained like yesterday, Monday, and a lot during the weekends, but things are starting to dry out. Awesome. Not chewed too bad. Yeah, not too much of the wax ring on there. Probably dropped a while ago. Just nice little 5-side. Huh. Obviously probably just a 2-year-old. Pretty sweet. That's already more than I was expecting to find in here. Man, awesome. Well, just camped on another one. I literally found the first one just down the hill. I don't know, maybe 75 yards that way. I looped around and now I'm coming back. Sure enough, right here's where I first seen it. This one's just a 1.5-year-old, but that's weird. It's got some dirt right in the tines there. I don't know, maybe a little bit fresher. Got a weird break to it. Awesome, that's pretty sweet. Just 2 sheds in less than an hour here in a little afternoon walk. Awesome. You gotta be kidding me. I literally just got done looking at this shed, taking this video, and I glanced up and there's another one. Might be the other side. I literally just found this one here. I glanced up and boom. Yep, definitely, I think. Well, I don't know. Yeah, because that one broke off that point. Yeah, that's gotta be same looking base. Usually the base is the most telltale sign. How it shed and overall shape. I mean, this is obviously the better side. He's got his brow tine still, didn't break any points. Starting a 5th point as a 1.5-year-old. He'll be a 10-pointer probably next year. This side's a little, didn't even grow a brow tine here. This side's busted. Oh, that's pretty sweet. This has got to be just right in some beds right here for sure. Awesome. Well, out here again after work in the bluffs. I don't really have a whole lot of experience shed hunting on these big hills in just on the west side of Madison here, and this big county park. It's a couple hundred acres, and there's actually some crop fields on the public, so that's good. It's not all just planted into grasses. Just been kind of going from bedding spot to bedding spot, and it's really easy to see where the deer are bedding because they're shedding hair like crazy right now, but that might not be where the bucks were bedding in the wintertime when they were dropping, but who knows. I just came up on one here. This looks like it might have been sitting here for a year, but it's not even chewed that bad. Big drop off there. Back that way it was quite thick, and I was finding lots of doe beds. And as soon as I got into this more open timber where it hasn't been logged as recent, all these smaller oaks and stuff, I got extremely lucky. There's really no deer trails in here. Just kind of going like this. And this is when I first seen it. I mean, I can't believe how hard it is to see them sometimes in here in these hardwoods. That definitely has been sitting there for a year. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Really tall, kind of. Probably a 2-year-old, honestly. That's too big to be a year and a half. Probably a small 2-year-old. Probably was a really small spike or something the first year. I'll take it. That's already more than what I was expecting to find in here. We'll see. I don't think a lot of these big hardwoods like this get walked to. I mean, you gotta get really lucky to find them in here. I don't know. We'll see. Well, I just seen, looked like 2 shedded bucks. When I was up there closer to the field, they were coming out of what I thought was these pines maybe, and going up to the crop field on the top, which is winter wheat. And so I came in by these pines thinking maybe they'd be in there. And there's this little cluster of aspen. I just picked the absolute perfect spot to walk down. I mean, there could be another shed in here somewhere. I just came up on an old one here. But I just picked a random spot to come down in here like this. And boom, that close. Looks like it's been laying here for at least a year, maybe 2. This one's pretty demolished. I wouldn't say too long, 2 years at the most. But you can see it was a pretty decent shed, probably off of a 2-year-old, maybe a 3-year-old. This one is in really good condition for sitting out a year. This has got to be a year-old shed with having a brown base like that, but this might only be a year as well. Huh. Well, just camp on one. I'm at my dad's uncle's place. I didn't really plan on coming over here today, so I don't have my knee-high boots for walking this marsh, but I'm covering the rest of this hardwoods and higher ground. Occasionally I'll find 1 or 2 up here, but mostly everything's in the swamp and in the grass beyond the swamp. But this looks like a little 1.5-year-old 4-point side right here. I had a feeling I might find something, but wasn't sure if I was going to. So the hardwoods and the main access trail is just right on the other side of this little tiny hill here. Right there's the shed. Like I said, I just have my normal boots with me, so I can't really walk the rest of this marsh today. That's probably a 2.5-year-old. That's pretty nice. I'll take it. That's only the second fresh shed. Well, I take that back. Second fresh shed while shed hunting I found out here. I found 2 fresh ones really early in January, just checking cameras. And then 2 old ones a couple weeks ago when I was out here looking, but awesome. I honestly don't even know exactly which buck this is, but I'm sure I have pictures of them. It's just not really coming to my mind right now, but I know there was a couple. There was a nice young 8 like this with huge brows. It's not him, but anyways, it's a shed, fresh shed too. Sweet. Well, I just came up on an old one here. Like I said, I don't have my boots, so I can only walk the high ground here today. This is an area where I rarely ever find one, but here's an old one. This little waterway or little creek coming through here. I came around like this and boom. That's when I seen it. Nothing much, but looks to be a year old from last year. No way. I just found a shed in a cornfield. It's been many years since I found one in an actual pick cornfield. I was just walking the the tree line back and forth because I bought back 4 rows of corn basically all the way along this big field, and that was all gone probably like early January. It wasn't enough. And then I had my brassica plot just over that way a little bit too, and that's where I found Found one early there, and then one early shed in January right over here. I just camp on another small one right out. Look at my great uncle's house is right up there. I literally was just walking back there, did 2 passes along the edge of the woods, and now I'm basically just beelining it back and just pick the right spot to walk through the field, I guess. There could be more out here, but man, you'd have to spend a whole day gridding this field and that other 15-ish acre field right there. I mean, you could walk all day out in this core and not find anything, but this was luck, 100%. So the house is literally right up there. This is right here where I seen it from. Boom. Oh wow, that didn't shed too good. Kind of snapped off part of the skull there. Oh, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool picture with the house in the background. I mean, 150 yards away. Never mind. It's a snap off, I think. Huh. Yeah, that definitely ain't a shed. That would explain why it's so white, like it's been, well, anything that falls in a field usually gets bleached out, but yeah, there's no way that's a shed. Probably some bucks out here fighting in the fall. Anyways, still cool. I'm gonna call it a shed find, I guess. I don't know. See, like, there's my other one. I just set it down for the video. I mean, look at how good that blends in. No way. I just got started. This is a property just down the road from the family farm, and I just camp on a really nice fresh one here. Crazy. The family farm is just over that way, maybe half a mile, and I've had permission here for probably the last 4 or 5 years. I've found a handful, but never a ton. It's just a 40-acre area. I mean, it does definitely hold some bucks at times, but I think most of the stuff sheds across the road. Anyways, look at that. Literally, I've been here for 5 minutes. Oh, I know exactly which buck this is, I think. I wasn't even sure if this buck was still alive. The last 2 years, I would occasionally get pictures of him along the line fence right up by the road. I knew that he was obviously coming from like that direction or maybe this direction, because I would never get him any of my other cameras further into the property. Obviously all at night, right there on the line fence. This deer's gotta be at least 4 or 5 years old, because I've had pictures of him for sure the last 2, maybe 3 years. I'm thinking now. Let me get some pictures. That's awesome. It's got to be from this year, but probably like an early drop. I don't see any wax ring. Base is kind of, well, it might not even fell here. Coyotes might have been moving it around because the base is muddy. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a fresh antler, but it just doesn't look like it when you look at the base. Like I said, it must have been an early drop. I only had a couple pictures of this deer all year long, so I don't know if he dropped early or what happened exactly, but it's a nice heavy antler. Like I said, that's gotta be, oh yeah, for sure. Looking at this, it does have a little bit of coyote chews on the brow there, but I don't know how much it really has been moved around. But yeah, this has got to be at least a 65-inch antler here. It's pretty nice. That'll be one of my nicest ones I find the rest of the year, probably, for sure. Awesome. So that shed I found is actually a year old. I really thought it was fresh after finding it. I just thought it had fallen somewhere else with the dirt on the base like that, but that shed is in really good condition for being a year old. I actually had a few more pictures of him last year, but still not many. I'm only getting pictures of him on this one camera up close to the road. Here he is this year. You can actually see he shrunk. His G4s are noticeably shorter. So that shed is 100% from last year, not this year. Well, I just camp on an old one down in here. I walk this pretty good every year, but I can't believe I missed this. This must have been a late drop, or I just completely missed it. It's in a pretty obvious spot too. Just kind of heading right down this trail, and this is when I first seen it right here. Decent little 2-year-old. But yeah, you can clearly see definitely a year old. Chewed a little bit, but being down here kind of in this swampy stuff. Look, there's a bed right there, fresh bed. See all the hair in it? God, it looks really similar to the bigger one I just found. But I don't think it's that buck from last year, because he was bigger than this last year too. He was about almost like what he is now. Sweet. Well, just camp on one here. I'm on my relative's land where we have some food plots, and I was hunting that big 8-pointer out here. Still haven't found him, probably won't. It's already early April, but this looks like, I think I know which buck this is. So the farm and house is just right up there. We have a little, probably half-acre soybean plot. Might expand it to about 3/4 of an acre next year. Just right over there, and that was all gone like probably middle of January. Just walking this little willow thicket down here by the river, and boom, right there. I just walked in on this side of the pond, and now I'm coming back, kind of grid this little area right here, and there's some more bedding further in, but that stuff's usually it's really thick in there, mainly doe bedding. This is a little more open for these bucks. I didn't think they'd be bedding in here in the wintertime, but I had pictures of this buck just right over there in another food plot on the other side of this field, like middle of February, and I had pictures of him right up by the house in the soybean plot up there, and right around that same time frame. You can see some old beds here, a little bit of deer hair. I mean, if they're bedding here, how are you gonna get in here? I mean, they're literally watching the field. It's crazy. I already got a couple pictures. You can see it snapped off kind of hard on the base there. Yeah, this is his good side too, with the little kicker point by the brow. That's a pretty nice buck. I mean, if this is a 2-year-old, that's really good. Pretty good mass. I don't even recognize him from last year, so more than likely he is a 2-year-old, because usually 2 to 3 you can usually recognize. Awesome. Let's go.